Hey guys, here is the video review for Transformers War for Cybertron Deluxe IMPACTOR. This is the Autobot version, the single pack that I found at Target this morning. The 3-pack version is the Decepticon version, and it does have some slightly different paint apps. Like, he'll have a Decepticon logo here. He's got some hazard striping, some yellow and black hazard striping in a few places on his arms and chest. I think there's some red on his legs as opposed to the yellow here. And he has a different head. He has more of an IDW, recent IDW Impactor head, whereas the Autobot version here has a head that's more reminiscent of how he appeared in the UK comics, the UK G1 comics back in the day. So he's got his little cannon up here, and then his gun that forms a main turret. He's got some wheels to roll. Not that that's a huge deal. And the turret in tank mode here does rotate. It's not quite center. The pivot point's just a little behind the center of mass of the turret, but it does rotate. The gun, because of the way it pegs in between the arms, can move up and down a little bit. Although sometimes if you don't have it straight flat, sometimes the handle for his robot mode will catch on his knees. But yeah, there he is in tank mode. To transform into robot mode, we'll go ahead and pop this off. Set it off to the side here. And then come back here. Now, when you're going back to tank mode, you flip feet out. Do note, they do lock into place. These feet, there's a little slot here on the foot that does, each one pegs onto these 2 tabs here in the back. So don't miss that, because the instructions aren't real clear about pegging it in, but when you do fold those in, make sure to lock those in place. It holds the whole tank together. Otherwise, you get the legs are really floppy. Well, not floppy, but they're not secure, I guess I should say. So open up the feet like that, and then bring the whole assembly down and around like this. Onto his lower legs. Flip this up into his leg, and then flip up the toe piece. These don't lock into place here that I can find. They don't slide too far back here on the feet, but they don't actually, like, this piece does not actually lock on to the gray piece. It would have been nice if they'd found a way to make that that same slot for tank mode attach here somewhere, but it just doesn't happen. But it's fairly secure and not going to move around too much. So you've got that. You can see there's basically the lower half of his body. Go ahead and untab his legs from each other. He's got a semi-ab crunch here. You can stop it here in the middle, so if you want to have him crunch in robot mode. But you see there's a little tab here that just locks that down. He does still have a waist swivel due to that's the same turret swivel here at the abs. So bring that down. The arms, it doesn't matter. The instructions say to peg the gun onto this arm when transforming it, but it really doesn't matter as long as it's pegged in this mode to the underside of one of these arms, or even if you want to peg it in as you flip them around. You want to make sure these little round divots are on the top when going to tank mode. But either way, just go ahead and take that off. Fold his chest plate down and lock it into place. Bring the arms down. The cannon here is on a hinge. You just flip it over for robot mode to kind of move it out to his shoulder. Bring the arms around. Bring the fists around. Rotate them around so the elbows work. Open up the panel on the back. And then flip up his head and turn it around. And again, he doesn't have the kind of Spartan-esque crest helmet that he does in the IDW comics. It's more squarish and based on his old G1 UK comic look. But there he is. He can hold his gun. I'm going to put it in this hand for obvious reasons. Now, either hand can flip around and do this. This can be a little laser pistol if you would prefer, or if you want to give him his spike hand. Just flip the hand around. You can see there's a peg right there. Peg can take blast effects and attach things. But there he is in robot mode. His head turns side to side. It is on a ball joint, I think, or maybe it just turns side to side, but it can look up a little bit due to the hinge it's on. Biceps or shoulders in both directions. Bicep swivel, hinge elbow. No wrist swivel. Normally you can move them in and out a little bit. It does have the waist swivel. I guess it's really more of an upper ab swivel. Technically an ab crunch. It will lock in a crunch pose between all the way up and all the way down. But it is intended to lock into place there. You may wear that tab down if you keep popping it loose like that. Dual direction hips, thigh swivel, hinge knee to almost exactly 90 degrees. A little bit of ankle tilt just in both directions just based on how it transforms. And some toe articulation, but that's really just there to keep him solid. And there he is. It's a nice representation. Like, I've been debating whether I want to get the 3-pack to swap heads, to swap the more IDW head onto the Autobot body. And now that I have him, I'm kind of digging him. So we'll see. I don't know. It's the only reason I would want the 3-pack. Like, the Power Dasher is neat, but it's not my favorite Power Dasher or my favorite just toy mold in general. The Mirage is clear blue, which is neat if I needed a Mirage, but I have the regular one. So that I found at Target as well. So I don't know. I would literally be buying that 3-pack just to have the alternate Impactor head, and I don't know that that's worth it for me. May still happen, but I just don't know that I'm going to spend $60, $70 on a 3-pack of toys when I only want the head from one of them. But Impactor himself is neat. I like his tank mode. It's chunky. It's solid and secure. I like his purple and orangish yellow color scheme. And I like the character. So even though his head is not accurate to the version of the character that I enjoy, it's still a fun toy. There he is. There is Deluxe Autobot Impactor from War for Cybertron.